Welcome, everybody, to the College Basketball Preview Show on the Grueling Truth Sports Network. Today, we're going to look at Iowa versus Maryland tonight at 5 o'clock in Big Ten action. I'm your host, Mike Goodpaster. If you're going to bet this game, bet it at BetMGM, our top-rated sportsbook for betting on college basketball. You can click on the link in the description down below if you're watching on YouTube. All right, guys, Iowa versus Maryland. Right now, the Iowa Hawkeyes will go to College Park, Maryland without Owen Freeman, which is a huge loss, especially against a team that has two big men like Maryland. Maryland is favored by anywhere from 11.5 to 12.5 points on the spread. They are at a money line of minus 650, and a total is set at 158.5. Now, when we look at this game, it's been a tough season for the Hawkeyes, and it's gotten tougher over the last week or two. They lost Owen Freeman, who's done for the season with a right finger injury. Iowa's interior defense was already bad, and the Hawkeyes are now even smaller without Freeman, often running 6'8" at the 5. Now, that's a huge problem against the rim-reliant terrapins. They will cut, they will roll, and they will post the rim relentlessly behind Julian, Reese, and Derik Queen. And they're both really good basketball players. This would have been an issue even with Freeman. Without Freeman, though, it's really a killer here. Some of these matchups, Iowa can get in the Big Ten. Losing that big man's not as big a deal. This is not one of those games. I also don't trust Iowa's dribble defense against Ja'Kobi Gillespie, a very efficient ball screen orchestrator. Now, Iowa is still super scary. They're uber efficient, pace and space offense. They work tirelessly in transition while running relentless secondary actions on the perimeter to generate catch-and-shoot opportunities and bomb away from deep. Unfortunately for the Hawkeyes, Maryland plays drop coverage. They funnel the ball, on-ball creation into the middle of the floor while viciously denying secondary catch-and-shoot opportunities. Fran McCafferty-led offenses are never comfortable running primary creation offense. So I don't love the Hawkeyes' chances on Sunday. Now, this number is a bit high, though. It's sitting at 11.5 to 12.5. But it could be a good letdown for the Hawkeyes on the second leg of a two-game road trip after upsetting Rutgers in Piscataway on Wednesday night. Ultimately, I don't see how Iowa keeps this game close. But there's always the chance that the Hawkeyes make a million tough jumpers across 40 minutes. This team can shoot the ball. There's no doubt about that. So when I'm betting this game, the 11.5 to 12.5 points, right now, as I just checked it, on BetMGM, Iowa is getting 12.5 points. I think Maryland wins this game, but I think in the end, the Iowa Hawkeyes will do just enough to cover 12.5 points. The one thing you can say about Iowa is I'm not a huge, Fran McCafferty. I'm just not a huge fan of Farmer Fran. But I can tell you this about his teams. Even though they're defensively deficient, offensively they're always good. And the other thing you can say about Fran's teams are this. They always show up to play. They play hard for 40 minutes, and I believe that'll happen today. I think Maryland may overlook Iowa just a little bit. But in the grand scheme of things, Maryland with Reese and Queen underneath are going to be way too much for the Iowa Hawkeyes. I think this is a game that probably is about a 10-point deficit for Iowa at the half. I think the game may balloon up to 15 or 20. But with 12.5 points here, I think you can get a back-end cover with the Iowa Hawkeyes hitting a couple late threes. The Hawkeyes are a tough team mentally. They just don't have a lot of talent this year, especially with the loss of Owen Freeman. But I do like Iowa getting 11.5 to 12.5 points in this game, but I do believe Maryland will win it. All right, guys, make sure you follow me on X at Grueling Truth. Like, subscribe, hit the bell notification on YouTube, and check out thegruelingtruth.com. For now, I'm Mike Goodpaster. You've been watching and listening to The Grueling Truth, where the legends speak.